The Washington Commanders are one of the funnest teams to rebuild in Madden 23, with key pieces in place like Scary Terry, Jahan Dotson, Antonio Gibson, and on the defense, littered with talent, Chase Young, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, Jamin Davis, Cam Curl, and the Canadian Ben St. Juste. There is more than enough pieces in place for this to be a fun rebuild, and on top of it all off, they don't have a quarterback, and what is more fun in a rebuild than finding and drafting and bringing in your brand new franchise guy that can elevate a team and bring them to a Super Bowl. However, the Commanders are owned by an absolute piece of garbage, Dan Snyder, who is rumored to be selling the team. So I thought for today's video, kicking off a new Decade Dynasty series where we go 10 full seasons with a singular team to try and win a Super Bowl, we take over the Washington Commanders, except this time we buy the team from Dan Snyder, we relocate the team to parts unknown, and we try and create something new, create something special, create a champion. Now, while we don't want to just throw away year 1 of 10, no matter what success may come on or off the field, hopefully we get some good development for our young players. Year 1 will always be known as the relocation season. For relocation, I knew where I wanted to go. I want to stay in the East. We are the NFC East. We're not going to stick out like a sore thumb like the Dallas Cowboys do in the division. So it was time to finally bless my beloved country. Maybe I'm just patriotic as Canada was outstanding against Belgium in the World Cup. But we are moving the Commanders to Toronto. It's time to run it back. It's not Madden 18, it's Madden 23, and the Toronto Huskies are back. We had a chance amongst all the relocation. There was a breakout for Jamin Davis, star dev outside linebacker, with a chance to go up to superstar. And off the back of a 28-20 victory week 12 over the Atlanta Falcons, Jamin Davis had the athletic ability to match up with any linebacker in the NFL. Now he is getting the dev trait that is going to help him reach his maximum potential. A late bye week gave us a great off week to assess all of our impending free agents, to get an idea what players we for sure wanted to bring with us to Canada. Top 2 players were absolute no-brainers. Deron Payne still has a very high ceiling at defensive tackle, and we wanted to get him here on a 4-year deal. Given who's 29, about that threshold of where regression could start, but him and Jonathan Allen, the inside of the defensive line, is outstanding. It's the strength of this team. Didn't want to let him walk. Cole Holcomb is another player who, while there is no dev trait there, he does seem like he's a guy that's almost always primed to go up dev trait. And he's a great tackler, and I think the combination between him and Jamin Davis can be a linebacker core that we can be proud of. And the final thing to talk about is the quarterback spot. Very happy to get Carson Wentz's disgustingly bad contract off the books. But we have someone like Taylor Heinicke, who's a serviceable quarterback. I just don't think I'm going to overpay. I think he's going to be a guy that'll be fine on the open market. And we'd already, we can learn from our past mistakes. The last time we did a Commanders video, I went with Sam Howell as our quarterback, and he just never really became the guy. So I think while there's a lot of confusion right now surrounding this quarterback spot, all of our focus goes towards maybe the open market, but more likely the 2023 NFL draft. Well, we've got a lot of our priority for the scouting of this cycle at the quarterback spot. It's not looking the best. We want that true game changer. Philip Belfort out of West Virginia, Jude Clancy out of Portland State look like the top 2 players. So we might need to get a stopgap, a band-aid type quarterback for year 1 in Toronto. In year 1, the transitionary season for the Commanders. Respectable 8-9. We battled. We were tough. We were gritty. All things you would expect for a Ron Rivera team. And did you just see that? Top 5 in passing yards was Taylor Heinicke, 32 touchdowns, 16 picks. He was accurate. We might have to offer him a contract. Knowing that the draft doesn't look like the best avenue this year to getting a quarterback, we know Heinicke can operate here. We have 1,000 yards for Antonio Gibson, double-digit touchdowns for the rookie Brian Robinson Jr. We had 3 players go over 1,000 yards, 99 catches, 1,500 yards, 8 touchdowns for the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL, Scary Terry. 88 catches, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns for a versatile weapon in Curtis Samuel. And the rookie out of Penn State, Jahan Dotson, 62 catches, over 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns on the year for a player that should be somewhat up the leaderboard in Offensive Rookie of the Year voting. Defensively, we got a lot of tackles. Cole Holcomb, which hopefully played him into a dev trade upgrade, which is great because we landed him on a long-term contract extension. 8 TFLs, 2 sacks, 4 interceptions to go with that. We had 20 sacks for Chase Young, back healthy, reminding the league, in case you forgot, This guy was a borderline generational pass rusher prospect coming out of Ohio State, and he is playing like that. We got 12 sacks to Ron Payne, 11 for Jonathan Allen, 7.5 for Montez Sweat, and a decent amount of interceptions. Jahan Dotson, unfortunately, came 5th in Offensive Rookie of the Year voting, but the big award winner for the day, for the team, for the season was Chase Young, Defensive Player of the Year, as well as D Lineman of the Year. He's on a superstar dev. That should hopefully bump him up to an X Factor. I also want to dap up for year one, Bobby McCain. We had Cole Holcomb, Chase Young. We had at guard, Andrew Norwell. And of course, Scary Terry McLaurin for making the Pro Bowl here in year one. In closing from year one, our team looks as such. I would say the only surprise on offense is De'Ami Brown, who didn't play, didn't lose his star depth, which is cool for the depth at our wide receiver room. Chase Young goes up to a superstar X Factor. Obviously, as we saw in season, Jamin Davis is superstar. Cole Holcomb from normal up to a star, as well as Bobby McCain, who made the Pro Bowl, going from normal to a star. Super Bowl in year one goes to the Green Bay Packers, 45-24. Over the Tennessee Titans. Aaron Rodgers gets an MVP. So for free agency, 2 players in particular, just more so looking for upgrades. One is Quincy Williams at that third linebacker spot. We run a lot of nickel. It's a lot of Cole Holcomb. It's a lot of Jamin Davis, but he still has the dev trait. It would be a nice fit there for a, solid starter. We got Moody at guard, another player. I think he's going to be able to slide more so to the right guard spot and be our long-term successor to Trey Turner, who we previously had. And we're going to be aggressive for quarterback, man. I think given the context, Tom Brady, Mr. International's won a game everywhere, but he made a joke. Like he's going to go to the CFL to try to win a game up here in Canada. I feel like, given the context of everything, given the fact that where our squad is at, oh my God, can we even afford to pay him? Where our squad is at, we're quarterback away. We were very much in the playoff hunt, and you're only going to get 1 year. And I feel like for a Band-Aid year, do we go with Tom Brady for a 1-year deal? Do we go Geno Smith a 1-year deal? Do we bring back Heineke on 1 year? I feel like if we're just going 1 year, if our plan still is to target a quarterback when one becomes available, we fall in love with one during the draft process, why not just have Tom Brady for a year? So let's see it. First wave of free agency. Quinton Williams, we get him to sign. We lose out on Muti, which is frustrating because we were first place for the bid. I guess coming to Canada could be a little nerve-wracking, but Brady signs on the dotted line. Let's go. Kind of showed you guys quickly my short list going into the draft. This is a draft that I like. A lot of the day 3 players. We have a stud here in CJ Toon that we're able to unveil. 3rd round projection, 1st round type talent at tight end, which is a big position of need for us. But there's not a lot of guys I love in the 1st round. It might be a draft that we will consider trading down. But, I mean, if we are still there, Kavanaugh looks like a legitimate 1st round talent. Leonard Ferguson at tackle is probably my top guy. Plus 6'4", 315. Kind of like Skaronski of Northwestern if you're looking at in real life college players. Might be best suited as a guard. We need a new starting right guard, but we also need a successor for Charles Leno at left tackle. So he's going to be our top target. If we can get Ferguson in the 1st round, maybe get Toon, the tight end, there in the 2nd round, that would be the best start for us in this draft. But it's all about what Tom Brady wants, right? He's the GM now. So the dilemma. We have our 1st round pick at 14. Our next pick isn't to the 4th round. So I'm thinking we get Ferguson here. We trade up into the 2nd round to get CJ Toon. And I think that's about all we can do, honestly. Get a tackle for Brady. Get Brady a go-to tight end and keep him happy. So Leonard Ferguson out of Washington. Elite strength, 96 strap. I mean, that was always going to be a baller pick. Let's go. Now it's time to do a little bit of hard work. Work the phones. Get back into the 2nd round. And it's going to be expensive to get our guy. We're going to be up at 2. Our best pick remaining right now, which is our 4. Our 2 next year, a 4 this year, and a 6 this year to trade up to the 3rd pick in the 2nd round. But given the draft board, given the fact that literally he's the best tight end remaining, he's the best guy that we scouted, I don't think he's so good. Look at that, 6'6", 275, A catching traffic, B catching, B deep route running, A run blocking. The combine, while not S tier, is very good. Elite strength tight end, that is something that we have kind of picked up on over the last couple of videos for if you want like a tell that a tight end is going to be a good player. Elite strength, usually it's elite strength paired with blocking, but he is A blocking elite strength. CJ Toon, welcome to Toronto. And to cap off today's video, take a look at the draft recap. Our first draft as the Toronto Huskies. Leonard Ferguson, an absolute baller. 77 overall, hidden dev offensive line. He's an agile archetype, even though he's put in with 96 strength. We got 85 run block finesse, 90 impact block, 87 lead block. What an absolute monster. CJ Tuna, tight end, gave up a lot of assets to secure his services, but we knew he was a first-round talent. 6'6", 275, hidden dev out of Tennessee. Good speed, 75 short route rounding, 81 catch in traffic, 76 spec, and he can block a little bit. He is going to be a nice weapon, a day one starter. With not a lot of picks, we just kind of finished out the draft with some good athletes. Larry Ray, the corner out of Stanford, 69 overall, and Tyrone Carmichael, UDFA, who had the fastest 40-yard dash time. And that is it for year number 1. We're trying something a little bit different here. I'm experimenting with this series. YouTube's all about, 10-minute videos. I'm going to see if we can still jam-pack a lot of content into 10 videos. But we're going to see if we can get these around 10 minutes, see if it helps out the channel a little bit. So if you guys do appreciate it, if you guys do like this style, you like the more frequent uploads that are going to be coming, let me know in the comment section below. If it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. All that stuff goes a long way. And we'll be back before too long to see what the GOAT can do under center for the returning Toronto Huskies. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.